Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Olivia Manning, and I am your host for this 34th season of Scholastic Hi Q, the only game where knowledge rules. God, I missed saying that. Welcome back to the inaugural episode of our 34th season. As I said, I'm Olivia Manning, your host, and today we have two incredible teams. At the top, we've got Shawnee with Nick, Matthew, Ariana, and Alexander, and at the bottom, we've got Cumberland with Rylan, Jad, Camden, and Mitchell. Now, the rules, for those who don't know, I have in my unequally manicured hands a series of toss-up questions which I will ask to the room. Either team can buzz in to answer for 10 points. If a team gets a toss-up question correct, they then move on to a bonus round, which they can answer for 20 points, but if they get it wrong, the other team can buzz in to steal for 10 bonus points. There are also media questions, math questions, lightning rounds, but we will get to all of those when we get to them. For now, there's one rule you need to know, and that is the interruption rule. If anyone interrupts me to answer a question while I am still reading it, if you get it correct, you get your points and we move on. But if you get it wrong, the other team gets an extra 5 bonus points and the option to answer the question. So, if you're going to interrupt me, just make sure you're right. With all of that hullabaloo out of the way, are we ready to Hi Q?
Yes, we are.
That's what I love to hear. Our first toss-up question. What phylum, whose members often live through polyp and medusa stages, have bodies with radial symmetry and include sea anemones? Rylan.
Echinoderm?
Sorry?
Echinoderm?
That is incorrect. Shawnee, I will repeat the questions. What phylum, whose members often live through polyp and medusa stages, have bodies with radial symmetry and include sea anemones and jellyfish? No answer from Shawnee. All right, we were looking for Cnidaria, the Cnidaria phylum. No bonus points for that first round, but some interruption rule bonus points for Shawnee. Our second toss-up. What general who dispersed the bonus army later fulfilled his promise to return to the Philippines while leading Jad?
Douglas MacArthur.
Douglas MacArthur is correct. Your bonus question, Cumberland. The Gold Coast was the colonial name for what country, whose first president was Pan-Africanist socialist Kwame Nkrumah?
Ghana.
Ghana is correct. Our next toss-up. What play in which Aegeus demands his daughter marry Demetrius follows several Athenians tricked by fairy magic and is by William Shakespeare? Rylan.
A Midsummer Night Dream.
Midsummer Night's Dream is correct. Your bonus question, Cumberland. What master of scat singing made 8 jazz albums showcasing various composers' songbooks from 1956 to 1964 and was nicknamed the First Lady of Song?
Fitzgerald.
Fitzgerald is correct. What god who rides the white bull Nandi has the consort Parvati and is a member of the Hindu Trimurti who is often called the Destroyer? Rylan.
Shiva.
Shiva is correct. Your bonus question, Cumberland. In July 2024, what former president of Brazil, who is ineligible to run for office until 2030, was indicted on money laundering charges?
Luis.
Luis is incorrect. Shawnee, your chance to steal.
But,
You can just go ahead.
alright, money laundering charges. Would that be President Trump?
President Trump is incorrect. We were looking for Bolsonaro, Jair Bolsonaro. What dictator who intensified censorship in the 5 Gray Years proclaimed history will absolve me before overthrowing Fulgencio Batista in Cuba? Camden.
Castro.
Castro is correct. Your bonus question, Cumberland. Damien Hirst encased a shark in what simplest aldehyde, which has the molecular formula CH2O and is used to embalm deceased remains?
Formaldehyde.
Formaldehyde is correct. Our first media question of the game. Everybody say hello to the television.
Hi.
This celebrity is an American singer, songwriter, and actress. She first began in a well-known Disney Channel show called Girl Meets World. Then, in 2022, debuted her...
Sabrina Carpenter.
Sabrina Carpenter is correct. That is 10 points for your media question, Cumberland. Anyway, there are no bonus questions for the media questions. It's just whatever shows up on the television. Our next toss-up. What planet is orbited by satellites discovered in 1877 by American astronomer Asaph Hall named Phobos and Deimos? Rylan.
Mars.
Mars is correct. Your bonus question, Cumberland. Bernaire de Ventadorn was what type of medieval poet-performer similar to minstrels, whose name derives from an Occitan term meaning composer?
Troubadour.
Troubadour is correct.
I didn't understand.
Our next toss-up. At what university did first-year president Minouche Shafik oppose the occupation of Hamilton Hall during anti-Israel protests in Manhattan? Rylan.
Harvard.
Harvard is incorrect. Shawnee, your chance to buzz in. All right, we were looking for Columbia University. No bonus question there. What 1913 play, whose main female character marries Freddie Ainsford Hill, is about flower seller Eliza Doolittle?
Pygmalion.
Pygmalion is correct. Your bonus question, Cumberland, is a math question, so pencil and paper ready. Remember, Shawnee, you might have a chance to steal, so get those pencil and paper ready too. What is the smallest multiple of 7 that is greater than 200, given that 21 is a multiple of 7?
203.
203 is correct. What New York City borough is home to the Park Slope, Crown Heights, and Bed-Stuy neighborhoods, as well as Coney Island and the NBA's Nets? Camden.
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn is correct. Your bonus question, Cumberland. The first movie to be screened in the White House was what 1915 film directed by D.W. Griffith, which valorized the Ku Klux Klan?
Birth of a Nation.
The Birth of a Nation is correct. What country's Somoza and Chamorro families were political rivals prior to a 1980s civil war between the Contras and Daniel Ortega's Rylan?
Nicaragua.
Nicaragua is correct. Your bonus question, Cumberland. What 9-letter word denotes a waxy substance used in perfumes that originates in the intestines of sperm whales?
Fragrance.
That is incorrect. Shawnee, your chance to steal. Alrighty, ambergris. We were looking for ambergris. Our second media question. Look to the televisions. It could be on either of them. This main character is one of the main protagonists and love interest of the main character Blitzo in the web cartoon series
Buzz.
Hell of a Boss.
Stolas.
Stolas is correct. That is 10 points for the media question. Once again, no bonus questions on the media questions. It's just whatever shows up on the television. Our next toss-up question. What force, whose maximum is proportional to the normal force, has static and kinetic forms? Rylan.
Friction.
Friction is correct. Your bonus question, Cumberland. Edward Bulwer-Lynson's novel Paul Clifford begins with what 7-word phrase, which has become a cliche for noir fiction?
On a dark and stormy night.
That is incorrect. Shawnee? All right, you were very close, Camden, but we were looking for it was a dark and stormy night. 7-word phrase. Our next toss-up. What American author described a musician down on Lenox Avenue the other night who played a drowsy Camden?
Auden.
That is incorrect. Shawnee, I will repeat the question. What American author described a musician down on Lenox Avenue the other night who played a drowsy, syncopated tune in his poem, The Weary Blues? All right, Langston Hughes. We were looking for Langston Hughes. No bonus question there. What organization, which Eleanor Roosevelt helped crush in the 1950s, was led by sachems like Boss Tweed and was a political machine in New York? Rylan.
Tammany Hall.
Tammany Hall is correct. Your bonus question, Cumberland. What element, whose trioxide is used to combat certain forms of leukemia, is an extremely toxic metalloid whose atomic symbol is AS?
Asinine.
Asinine is incorrect. Shawnee, your chance to steal. Arsenic. We were looking for arsenic. Our next toss-up. What style, showcased in Abbot Chauzet's design for the Basilica of Saint-Denis, uses flying buttresses and is exemplified by Notre Dame in Paris? Rylan.
Gothic.
Gothic is correct. Your bonus question. What Black author wrote about the teenager John Grimes and his strict stepfather Gabriel in his novel Go Tell It on the Mountain?
Baldwin.
Baldwin is correct. What Asian country is the setting of the novels Norwegian Wood, The Wind-Up, Camden?
Japan.
Japan is correct. Your bonus question, Cumberland. Spain's Ceuta and Russia's Kaliningrad are examples of what type of region that is separated from the main part of a country?
Exclave.
Exclave is correct. What positive integer is the smallest with 4 positive factors, is the first perfect number, is a cube's number of faces, and Camden?
6.
6 is correct. Your bonus question. What company's PageRank algorithm was first developed by Larry Page and Sergey Brin?
Facebook.
Facebook is incorrect. Shawnee, your chance to steal. All right. Google. We were looking for Google, which I believe at the time was known as Alphabet Inc. Alrighty, if you can hear that distant thunder in the background, we are ready for this episode's lightning round. The lightning round works as follows. I now have, in my unequally manicured hands, 4 sets of topics. Those topics are then broken down into 10 questions that a team may have to answer in 60 seconds. Shawnee, you get first pick of our topics. So, would you like to answer questions on good answers, bad synonyms, genres of visual art, or music from Canada? Good answers, bad synonyms, genres of visual art, and music from Canada.
I'd like to go with the first one.
Good answers. Alrighty, let me take my pencil out of my hair. Good answers. Given a description, name these good people, places, or things. Shawnee, your 60 seconds begins in 3, 2, 1. Children's book about a great green room at bedtime. Say the answer or pass.
Goodnight Moon?
Correct. Non-profit organization with a popular donation program and stores.
Shriners Hospital?
Incorrect. Zoologist who studied chimpanzees in Tanzania.
Pass.
Tire company with a yellow logo and an iconic blimp.
Michelin.
Incorrect. TV show starring David Tennant as the demon Crowley.
Good Omens?
Correct. South African Cape first visited by Bartolomeu Dias.
Pass.
Kendrick Lamar album with the tracks Backseat Freestyle and Money Trees.
Pass.
Flannery O'Connor story featuring the Misfit. We are out of time. Goodwill was our nonprofit organization with a popular donation program and stores. Jane Goodall was that zoologist who studied chimpanzees. Goodyear is the tire company with the iconic blimp. The Cape of Good Hope was first visited by Bartolomeu Dias. Good Kid, Mad City is the Kendrick Lamar album. The Flannery O'Connor story featuring the Misfit is A Good Man is Hard to Find. Alrighty, Cumberland, it is now your time for the lightning round. Once again, your topics to choose from are bad synonyms, genres of visual art, and music from Canada.
Music from Canada.
Alrighty. Name the Canadian band or artist that released these songs. Cumberland, your 60 seconds begins in 3, 2, 1. Blinding Lights and Can't Feel My
Weekend.
Face.
Weekend.
Correct. God's Plan and Hotline
Drake.
Bling. Correct. Baby and What Do You Mean?
Justin Bieber.
Sorry?
Bieber.
Correct. Stitches and Treat You Better.
Mendez.
Correct. Man, I Feel Like a Woman.
Pass.
Call Me Maybe.
Carly Rae Jepsen.
Correct. My Heart Will Go On from the film Titanic.
Celine Dion.
Correct. Photograph and How You Remind Me.
Nickelback.
Correct. Ironic from the album Jagged Little Pill.
Pass.
Tom Sawyer, a major prog rock hit.
Pass.
Man, I Feel Like a Woman. Alrighty. Man, I Feel Like a Woman is Shania Twain. Ironic from the album Jagged Little Pill is Alanis Morissette. And Tom Sawyer is by Rush. Alrighty, the lightning round is wonderful, but it does not last forever. So back on to the toss-up questions we go. What country, whose National University of San Marcos is the oldest operating university in the Americas, contains the cities of Cusco and Lima? Rylan.
Peru.
Peru is correct. Your bonus question, Cumberland. 4 Bayview High students are suspected of murder after Simon Kelleher has a fatal allergic reaction in what 2017 novel by Karen M. McManus? You're out of time. Shawnee, your chance to steal. Alrighty. We were looking for One of Us is Lying. One of Us is Lying is the title of that novel. Our next toss-up. What novel in which women rub butter on their faces at the Red Center in the Republic of Gilead? Rylan.
Handmaid's Tale.
Handmaid's Tale is correct. Your bonus question, Cumberland. What woman became known as the king's beloved sister after her 1540 divorce, which occurred less than a year after she became Henry VIII's fourth wife?
Anne of Cleves.
Anne of Cleves is correct. What leader who was assassinated at the Audubon Ballroom in Harlem in 1965 was a minister for the Nation of Islam? Camden.
Malcolm X.
Malcolm X is correct. Your bonus question, Cumberland. This is another math question, so pencil and paper ready, and that goes for Shawnee as well. In how many ways can 2 flowers be chosen from a batch of 12 roses and 9 tulips if one must be a rose and one must be a tulip?
Nine.
9 is incorrect. Shawnee, your chance to steal.
But can I buzz in?
Go ahead.
That would be 12, wouldn't it?
12 is incorrect. We were looking for 108. 108 ways. Any of those 12 roses can be paired with any one of those 9 tulips. So 108 distinct pairs. Going on to our next toss-up. What singer, a member of the Smeezingtons, released his debut album Doo-Wops and Hooligans in 2010, which included Just the Way You Are and Grenade? Camden.
Bruno Mars.
Bruno Mars is correct. Your bonus question, Cumberland. What eldest son of Priam and Hecuba was dragged behind the chariot of his nearly invincible killer after his death in the Trojan War?
Paris.
Paris is incorrect. Shawnee, your chance to steal.
Was it Prometheus?
Prometheus is incorrect. We were looking for Hector. Hector, who was killed by Achilles in the Trojan War. Our next toss-up. What process, governed by the equation C1 times V1 equals C2 times V2, occurs when a solvent is added to a solution to lower its concentration? Camden.
Dilution.
Dilution is correct. Your bonus question, Cumberland. A history attributed to Su Qin is called the strategies of what fractious period of Chinese history, which ended when the Qin dynasty unified China?
Yeah, but it's not the 3 kingdoms. Warring states.
Out of time. Shawnee, your chance to steal. Alrighty. We were looking for the Warring States period. The Warring States period. Our next toss-up. What country, whose 2007 Saffron Revolution had protests led by Buddhist monks, has faced the Rohingya crisis and was once led by Aung San Suu Kyi? Rylan.
Myanmar.
Myanmar is correct. Your bonus question, Cumberland. The Okavango Delta is in what country in southern Africa whose capital is Gaborone?
Botswana.
Botswana is correct. What country's ACT Party currently works with its national party as part of a government headed by Christopher Luxon, an MP for an Auckland district?
New
Jack.
Zealand?
New Zealand is correct. Your bonus question, Cumberland. What 19th century American poet described an innumerable caravan that moves to that mysterious realm in a meditation on death titled Thanatos?
Bryant.
Bryant is correct. This next toss-up is a math question, so pencil and paper ready, both teams. What is the value of 45% of x if 15% of x is equal to 8? Mitchell.
24.
24 is correct. Your bonus question, Cumberland. In 2025, what Republican senator from North Carolina said he would not seek re-election after voting against the so-called One Big Beautiful Bill Act?
Johnson.
Johnson is incorrect. Shawnee, your chance to steal.
Buzzin'. Was it Mitch McConnell?
No, it was not. We were looking for Tillis. Tom Tillis. What novel, whose protagonist marries such men as Rhett Butler, is set during the Civil War, centers on Camden?
Gone with the Wind.
Gone with the Wind is correct. Your bonus question, Cumberland. Carrie Mullis invented what technique, often known by a three-letter acronym, that amplifies segments of DNA?
PCR.
PCR is correct. In what country, where the MSS mission had been led by Kenyan police, did a major 2024 prison break occur amid an ongoing gang war at Port-au-Prince, Jad?
Haiti?
Haiti is correct. Your bonus question, Cumberland. The United Nations office at Geneva is housed in a complex built for what predecessor of the UN?
The League of Nations?
The League of Nations is correct. What world leader was targeted in the Brighton hotel bombing, led the UK during the Falklands War? Jad.
Margaret Thatcher?
Margaret Thatcher is correct. Your bonus question, Cumberland. A song by DJ Noisestorm, which is often used as a celebratory meme, is titled For a Rave of what animals?
Crab.
Crab is correct. Crab rave is correct. Your next toss-up. What musical genre in which Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart wrote works nicknamed The Hunt and Dissonance is scored for 2 violins, viola, and cello?
String
Wow.
quartet.
Sorry?
String quartet.
String quartet is correct. Your bonus question, Cumberland. What Dutch artist who co-founded the movement known as De Style is known for abstract works featuring primary colors such as Broadway boogie woogie?
Mondrian.
Mondrian is correct. What compound that is required as a cofactor for synthesizing collagen is also called ascorbic acid and is a vitamin found in citrus fruits? Matthew.
Vitamin C.
Vitamin C is correct. Your bonus question, Shawnee. In humans, what organ contains semilunar valves and is surrounded by the pericardium?
The liver.
The liver is incorrect. Cumberland, your chance to steal.
Heart.
Heart is correct. Our next toss-up. What capital city, whose Plaza de la Constitucion is often called the Zocalo, was once an Aztec settlement and is North America's Jad?
Mexico? Mexico City.
Mexico City is correct. Your bonus question, Cumberland. Mount Jumbo overlooks what city that is home to the University of Montana and is the state's second most populous city? Cumberland, you are out of time. Shawnee, your chance to steal. All right, we were looking for Missoula. Missoula, Montana is the name of that city. And that ding dong means that we are unfortunately done with this first episode of the 34th season. We have Cumberland as the winner of our first episode. Congratulations to everyone on the team of Cumberland and the team of Shawnee for being part of this wonderful celebratory event of the first episode. I am Olivia Manning, your host, reminding you that here at Hi Q, knowledge rules. Let the music play.